Hey y'all, I'm back with the Project Life process, and this time I'm going to be scrapbooking week 23. So I'm really excited to say that this is my final spread in this particular album. I've been working on it, I think, since the beginning of February, or sometime in February, and I've been working on pictures from June 2015 to this week, which is the end of November. I've decided to stop at the end of November because I am going to be I don't want to say I am going to be, I have been actually working on a December documented album. I didn't do December daily because I don't have daily like photos and daily stories, but I did just do December as a whole. And so I'm almost done with that album. I'll probably do a flip through. I'm going to be moving on to a 9 by 12 album. The main reason I'm doing that, although I love the 8.5 by 11 size, the main reason I'm doing that is because I won't have to cut the cards to these weird sizes that I have to do every now and then. And so that is one of the main reasons that I'm moving on. So I did order some of those albums from Studio Calico. And I want to be able to use cards as is, especially the ones that come in the Hip Kit Club and stuff like that. I want to be able to use those the way that they come without having to like cut off some pretty parts. So if that makes sense. So in this particular, or for this particular spread, it's Thanksgiving, and I wanted to try to choose fallish themes. And let me tell you, that was very difficult for me because I'm used to using pink, like bright colors and summery and spring and all that kind of stuff. And I had a difficult time finding things in my stash. And what I went to are some of my old Hip Kit Club papers, like the Teresa Collins. It's like such a beautiful collection. Now I can't remember what it is, of course, but I think it's like, oh goodness, Teresa Collins 9 and Company. That's what it was. And they had some beautiful like papers. They were, I want to say there was cork and there were leaves and the really pretty floral that aren't your typical floral colors. And I just loved that collection. Plus that diagonal navy striped. And oh my gosh, that was one of my favorite papers. So okay, enough about that. That's what I found for this particular spread, and it worked perfectly. Or for in my eyes, it worked great for what I was going for. I'm documenting that it's week 23, and I did that by using the Wonder Thickers. I've also used a stamp that says grateful, and I think that's from an old Citrus Twist kit, and I thought that was perfect for Thanksgiving week, and I did some journaling. Also used a Studio Calico 5 because she is 5 months this week, and then I'm using some different little other bits and pieces from, I think from that same 9 and Company's chipboard sticker sheet that we got in Hit Kip Club. I'm also using some puffy stickers, and I'm going to start on the back side. So I'm sorry, that kind of went a little bit quickly, but I wanted to kind of tell you some of the things there at the beginning. Um, so that was basically all that I used. And I used some wood veneer pieces too, just for my stash. I'm not really even sure where those came from. So I'm also using some of those same papers, except this time I found some cards in my stash that I just cut up to this, whatever the size this is that I had to cut up to. And one of the papers from that Teresa Collins line is, I think that's what it is. It's that triangle paper that's like it with the gold foil on it there at the right hand corner, and I love that paper. Um, this was the not this wasn't the very last piece, but I only have like a little bitty piece left of that, and I think I was hoarding it, but I've kind of done with the hoarding stuff because I'm not going to do that anymore because I'm using up my stuff. Um, I also found just some Studio Calico cards that I just cut up to a smaller size to fit in these pockets. And I'm just documenting mostly that my daughter was sitting in her high chair more often, or I think this was one of the first times that she started sitting in it actually. And I'm also documenting that she was touching a Christmas tree for the first time. Well, I guess like at home, really. And that's because I think when we went to see Santa, she was able to see like a huge Christmas tree. And I'm just using those same stamps to just add some of my own little interests into this on this particular card. And I'm using just some fall-ish colors because these are about the only fall colors that I have, which are navy and kind of that pale tomato color by oh, what is that? Simon Says Stamp? No, Hero Arts. And that's a really pretty color, by the way. And then an orange color by Hero Arts. I'm also using some, I think I mentioned this on the other side, but when I was working on the other side, but I used a chipboard piece from the Teresa Collins 9 and Company line, which, like I said, that's an old collection, and it's something that we got in a Hip Kit Club a while back. And I'm just finding some different little elements in my stash that might go with this collection. I did pull like the first Market Street collection. I think it's Market Street. It's the My Mind's Eye Market Street collection. Anyway, I did pull some things because those are colors that I think complement that Teresa Collins line really well. And then, like I said, I found some Studio Calico cards that were like some reds and oranges and things that really made it seem like this was kind of the end of like in November, even though I do have some Christmassy photos like the Christmas tree and things like that. This was a really fun spread to create. The only thing I did not care for or is the time consuming part was cutting these cards up. I mean, honestly, that's what it was. So I feel like things will go by a lot quicker once I get my 9x12 albums in. I'm using this feather that is also from, I think that's like an embellishment from an old Citrus Twist kit. And I'm going to go ahead and put all of my little cards into their pockets. And then I'm going to call it done. And there are some final photos that are coming up. So I hope you guys enjoyed this process and just let me know if you have any questions. And I hope you guys have a great rest of the week. And thank you so much for joining me and for subscribing and for leaving comments. I really enjoy reading them. Have a great week.